Roman does consumer tips.
What's up YouTube? I think only the lazy one didn't make a review on the brand new Galaxy S22 Ultra, and now you can say that the lazy one did one as well too. I want to share with you not the technical specs, not what it can do and etc, but with the overall first impression of receiving this cell phone, comparing it to a few other phones from the same lineup but from the previous years, discuss pros and cons of the first impressions and the ergonomics of the phone, and really understand if this is a great time to upgrade from, let's say, S21 Ultra to S22 Ultra, or you should just keep it for now. And with that said, let's roll. Let's figure out what boxes I have on my desk, and I have a few of them. So I have a couple of cases. These, I think, are one of the best cases that Samsung ever made. These are the original silicone cover with strap cases. Not only they look great, they feel great, they also cost great. These boys cost me only 35 each. That's like a drastic decrease on the price, and I'm loving it. We'll have a look at the cases separately. Let's put them on the side. Okay, the boxes, top boxes, they represent Galaxy Ultra, S22 Ultra in the white and the burgundy color. This is what they look like on the table next to each other. Overall finish on both of them is very similar, though the white one seems to be slightly bit more kind of softer and smoother, I would say, than the burgundy. And if you're picking between two, I would say go for the white one. I think this is like the best color in the entire lineup. Even the black one, it looks like they just copied the last year's color from the S21 Ultra. Here it is. I'm not sure if it's a great color overall because it looks boring on this cell phone specifically. I also got another cell phone here, older version. This is the S10 Plus from a couple of years back. It's also called white, but you can see the color difference. It gives like this slight bluish tone to it. It sparkles better. Overall, I think the older colors are better on Samsung's, but the brand new one is not too bad either. Oh, and speaking of the white paint, I think it looks very similar to the Lexus Pearl white paint. The only difference, it doesn't have those like metallic sparkles in it. But in general, like it looks very similar, and in a daylight, the overall spectrum of the shine, like it's really beautiful on the cell phone. So definitely 10 out of 10 for the white one. While burgundy looks a little bit dull and boring, I cannot even say that it's a burgundy really, like depending on the angle you look at it and the light. Sometimes it even looks like it's like a dark gray or something like that. Nevertheless, I'm still gonna carry my phone in a case, so who cares? I also want to look at how this cell phone, this brand new S22 Ultra, compares to 21 Ultra. And the main difference is not only having the extra pen here on the side, but also it's the way the cell phone sits in your hand. With the older version of S21 Ultra, it has the improper balance, so it's not centered, and when you hold it on your hand like this, it tends to tilt towards the lenses because it has this like a massive bulge at the top with the camera lenses, while in this one they kept it somehow balanced, and you can pretty much like balance it on a couple of fingers. This you cannot do with the S21 Ultra. In terms of the sizes, the S22 Ultra is slightly wider than S21 Ultra, and really the difference is minor, so I wouldn't really pay attention to that. It's probably just because of the extra pen. But what's interesting, the S10 Plus is a lot more ergonomic, and when you hold it in your hand, it feels like a solid block. While the S22 Ultra, even though it's a big and heavy phone, feels like plastic. I don't know, like it doesn't have that premium kind of touch to it that S10 Plus carries even like, what now, 3 or 4 years after it has been released. So you have to admit that the old glass covers, they were the fingerprint magnet. As you can see, I've just touched it a few times and it's already full of fingerprints, while with these guys, you barely see the fingerprint on them. I also had a chance to look at the S22, call it basic model. What was interesting is that it represents iPhone, like heavily represents iPhone shape, the way it looks, the way it feels in the hand with those edgy sides. And I think it was a tactical step by Samsung to take up the market share, as I've heard that Apple is planning to discontinue their smaller models. So Samsung is just trying to jump on board and provide that empty market share with the cell phone of their making. Another thing I want to mention about the rest of the lineup of S22s for this year is that Samsung didn't pay like too much attention to them. For example, S22 and S22 Plus, they carry the same chipset as this guy over here, S22 Ultra. And by chipset I mean processor, but quality of their screens is not on point because they come with only 1080p screens. This is like a small resolution for a cell phone of Samsung in general, because usually they were striving to make like a better quality screens than, let's say, Apple. But now I think the entire attention of the brand goes towards the S22 Ultra, and they try to downgrade the smaller variants of the S22. And that would be okay with me if not one particular thing about the S22 and S22 Plus. And this price, guys, this thing is overpriced. For this amount of money, for the price of S22, you can actually buy the Pro version of the Google Pixel 6 if you add just a couple of bucks extra. Isn't it insane? You're getting like a premium flagship of Google for the price of Samsung's the most basic cell phone that they make for 2022. Great, so we touched on the ergonomics, we touched on how the thing feels, and let's look at the pen. I have to admit, even though I haven't really used it that much, I have it on my tablet here that I'm filming with, and I have it on a few other devices, not a big fan. But this thing works awesome, guys. Like, it works like a real thing on the paper, and it even makes the sounds, that like a scratchy sound of a pen on the screen. That gives you like even better immersion and feeling like it's a real thing. So the pen is definitely 10 out of 10. But next question is, do you need it? If you don't really use it, then apart from this pen, inside the cell phone is identical, more or less, to the last year's S21 Ultra. And if you already have S21 Ultra, buy the pen, use it with your cell phone, and forget about the upgrade, because do you really need it? And taking into account the overall pricing of the cell phones, for example, this one is S22 Ultra 1TB version. Over here in Canada, it cost me this much. And yes, they have all types of different trade-in programs. For example, for some time now, they're offering to trade in your S21 for S22 Ultra, and they give you up to $800 in the trade-in values. But is it really worth it? Do you need to pay up that difference just to use the pen? Maybe it's not the time yet, especially if you don't need a brand new phone. The box contents are pretty much identical. What's interesting is that the box is getting slimmer and slimmer every year. This is the difference between the S21 Ultra box and the S22. There is about like half-inch height difference. A good job on the boxing, I guess, but again, for the price, Samsung, you could have included a charger at least, a proper 45-watt charger, so I don't have to buy it separately, and really work on that, saving the world program. After all, we all know that saving the planet by reducing the contents of the box and increasing the price, you actually spend more energy and resources when you split things up rather than including them in the box. So Samsung, maybe it's time to stop it and, do it properly. Please. Here's another indicator pointing out that Samsung is trying to cheap out on the cell phones and sell them at as much as they can. Again, going back to this guy, it's 1 TB version of S22 Ultra, cost me this much, but they didn't even put a screen protector on the cell phone. For example, the S21 Ultra, the one I'm filming with now, had the screen protector pre-applied from the factory. These guys don't have it pre-applied, and they don't even have it in the packaging. Come on, Samsung, you could have put the screen protector on it. Why is it so difficult? I don't know. One thing I'm really curious to see about how S22 Ultra performs is the dirt. How it's protected against the dirt. For example, on my S21 Ultra, you see that the speaker gap is full of dirt, grills at the bottom are full of dirt, the port and the microphone hole over here, even the one at the top here is kind of filled up with dirt, despite me having a case on it 24/7. What it looks like on the S22 series, this gap for the speaker is even smaller. So this could work out in two ways. One, it's going to work better because it's smaller, or two, it's going to work like the S21 version and it might get filled up with dirt, just like the S21. At the bottom, it's pretty much the same here, so this thing will be filled with dirt. These two will get filled as well. Not sure about the top ones. Oh, there's only one hole here. Yeah, we'll see. The picture quality is another thing that I wanted to touch on, but briefly, because there's really nothing to compare it with. I compared the pictures in a dark mode with S22 Ultra and Google Pixel 6 Pro. And really, I'm not seeing that much of a big difference there. So again, there's a lot of other YouTubers who like to do that. Feel free to check out the videos, but on my end, I have to say that really I'm still happy with the pictures of the S21 Ultra. And I saw some YouTubers also mention that SIM card slot is kind of weird on this phone, and I have to agree with them, because look, on the S21 it's positioned completely on a different side. It's impossible to screw it up, while on the S22 Ultra, now when I see it in person, I have to admit, actually there is a chance to poke a different hole and leave your phone without a microphone. So keep that in mind and watch out where you put your pin to open the SIM card slot. Then the screens, I haven't found anything that jumps out at me when compared to my S21 Ultra. If you're upgrading from a smaller phone or from like an older variation of S10 Plus, then yes, quite significant, not only by the real estate, but the overall quality of it seems to be better, smoother, and it runs a little bit faster. But really, for the rest of it, it's just the S21 Ultra. And again, I'm coming back to my previously said words. I don't think it's worth the upgrade unless you need a brand new phone. And here are the reasons. So the pricing, it's ridiculously overpriced. Two, there are barely any new features. And three, your old S21 Ultra will do just fine for the next couple of years. So save the money, buy something else, try not to over upgrade yourself, because you're not getting anything of value from this brand new phone if you have the older version. Okay, and before I sum it up, I just wanted to tell you that I decided to split this video and cover the cases separately in the next video. The link for it you'll find somewhere here or at the end of the video. All I have to say about the cases, they are great, but there is one key issue that you might want to be aware of before you buy it, or at least go and stop by one of the Samsung stores and try it on. So with that said, make sure you smash the like button, you hit the subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what you think about the S22 Ultra. Is it what I think it is? Is it overpriced S21 Ultra with a pen? Or is it really a brand new cell phone that everyone needs to buy? I'll see you in my next video.